Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Chris, and on today's video we're going to talk about a fragrance from the house of Chanel. So today we have a fragrance from the Les Exclusifs range of Chanel, and the fragrance that we have here today is La Pausa, which was formerly named 28 La Pausa. It has since changed names, and here is the fragrance right here. So I do have a 200 ml size bottle, and this is probably one of my favorite ones from the range. It's probably one of the ones that doesn't get a lot of love or attention out there from this range itself. And that's probably to do with the simplistic nature of this fragrance. It's very quiet, it's very refined, but it's very down to earth as well. And the fragrance is actually named from Coco Chanel's villa, which was in the French Riviera, and it was called La Pausa, or that's what they would call it, which translates into the pause or the break, which is kind of what the actual villa was meant for. It was a pause and a break for Coco Chanel, and this fragrance is supposed to symbolize that, which I think it does perfectly to a T. Now, this scent itself was launched in 2007 by Jacques Polge, and it has been reformulated since to an eau de parfum. And that reformulation did happen in 2016, so just so you're aware. So the notes for this one are going to be green notes, powdery notes, woody notes, and French iris palladia. I don't know what the last part is, but it's French iris. And if you know iris as an actual fragrance note in the fragrance component, it's one, very expensive, and two, it's very powdery. Sometimes it can come off kind of like lipsticky type of vibes. Not in this one, it's just going to be a powdery fragrance. You also do get that signature Coco Chanel DNA in this fragrance, which is also powdery. It's kind of like baby powder, soapy type of quality that's in the baseline of this fragrance. But the scent is just marvelous. It is quiet, like I said. It is also refined. It is sophisticated. It is sexy. But it kind of gives you that vibe of being in the French Riviera. You get that sense of peacefulness with this fragrance. And I think that's what this fragrance is all about. And because of that, being in a lineup of fragrances which are all very artistic, like Le Lion, Sycamore, Amnesia, this fragrance can kind of fall flat next to those because it's just not necessarily not to that level, but the fragrance itself is just not going to be loud or, super creative, super artsy like these other ones. It's just going to be a little bit more tamed, a little bit more muted. And because of that, I think people overlook this fragrance quite a lot. And I have to say, it is probably one of my favorite ones. It kind of reminds me of Balls d'Argent by Christian Dior, minus the honey, and it's done a little bit better in La Pausa. It's also going to remind me a little bit of number 19, but not quite as green as number 19. So it has these beautiful elements that tie it back to Chanel's history with the name of the fragrance, also with the actual smell. But the fragrance itself is just going to be very, like I said, it's going to be very French in the effortless type of way. So because of that, I do love this fragrance. I think it's a masterpiece. I think it's a must get if you do love the note of iris. There's a lot of iris fragrances out there that have made it big and are still around. For example, Prada's Infusion de Iris. That's a really popular fragrance. But this one itself, I think, does it in a Chanel type of way, which is just, I don't know. Chanel has this romanticism behind the actual fragrance house. Not so much anymore with the shenanigans going on at Chanel, but the actual fragrances have this beautiful way of telling stories. And I think that's the most important thing when it comes to perfumery. So, in my opinion, I think this is a must get from the Les Exclusifs range of Chanel. They are a little bit expensive. This size bottle is 500 US dollars, and that's a lot of money for 200 mils, but it's not quite as much as other ranges out there. It's just, up there on price point. With longevity, I do have to say it's not going to be a long wearing fragrance. It's maybe going to wear 4 to 6 hours if you are lucky and you take the extra precautions to make it last longer. Because iris fragrances, just being real with you, are not long lasting whatsoever. That's just not what they're known for. But this scent, I think, does have good to moderate, actual longevity and performance. So just keep that in mind. I know I get a lot of questions as to if the fragrance is masculine or feminine. This one falls straight in the middle. It's not going to be ultra masculine. It's not going to be ultra feminine. It doesn't really fall into either one of those categories. I think it just leans in that middle portion, which I know a lot of the Les Exclusifs range fragrances tend to fall a little bit more feminine, but this one itself, I think, falls right in that middle apart. So what do you think of La Pausa by Chanel? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Let me know down below in the comments. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe for more fragrance related content. Until next time, you guys, take care.